Hello, I'm Dr. Vanita Rattan. I'm a doctor but also a cosmetic formulator specifically for skin of color. So today's video is one that I'm so excited to be making for you, and this is the launch of our brand new hair care range. Now this hair care range is inclusive from type 1 to type 4, so from straight fine hair to curly, thick, delicious hair. So there are three main things you want to focus on when you're trying to grow thick, healthy hair. Number one, you want a healthy scalp. So this means that you want to use ingredients such as salicylic acid and niacinamide. If you have a healthy scalp, you can manufacture healthy hair. You also want to stop putting oil on the scalp because that leads to malassezia, which is a yeast which leads to dandruff and then manufactures brittle hair, which breaks easily. So I'm going to talk later a little bit about scalp health. But that's something that gets really overlooked, and this is part of the reason why so many of us have brittle hair that breaks easily. The second thing we want to look at is stimulating the follicle. And then the third thing is protecting the actual hair that you have so that you don't have to have as many trims, and so you can allow your hair to grow longer. In this video, I'm going to be talking about the key actives that I've put into each piece of this 5-piece hair range. I'm going to talk about the biggest mistakes that get made when you are washing your hair. And the third thing I want to talk about is the directions. How do you use this kit? It has its own technique and there's a reason for every step. So I hope you love today's video and I hope you love this range as much as I do. Let's dive right in. So starting off with our thickening shampoo. So the reason this is different is that I've put salicylic acid in here. Salicylic acid is your beta hydroxy acid. This means that it's fat soluble. It basically penetrates into the pore and it unclogs the pore. And by doing this, it means that you have less sebum on the scalp, so you have less malassezia, and so you have less dandruff. Now, 50% of the population gets dandruff, and so this is a big cause for why people grow brittle hair. So I've put that into here. The second ingredient I've put into here is your niacinamide. So niacinamide, as you all know, is everyone's best friend with our skin. It controls sebum production, and I've done it for the same reason, in order to reduce the amount of dandruff on the scalp. The third ingredient I used was glycerin. So glycerin is important. It's a humectant, it's a water magnet, and it creates a healing, hydrated environment for the scalp so that it then produces healthy hair. I also use the anti-inflammatory panthenol. So if you do have an irritated scalp, it will soothe it. And most importantly, this is fragrance free. So because this actually touches your scalp, the actual skin, you don't want a fragranced shampoo ever. So fragrance leads to contact dermatitis in 3 to 4% of the population, and it doesn't happen immediately. It can happen 20 years later, so it can be delayed onset. And then not only you're allergic to the fragrance, you're allergic to all the other ingredients in that product. And that's why you could be using one product for 20 years and suddenly become allergic to it, and your skin suddenly becomes very sensitive. So you should always avoid fragrance in any shampoo. And actually there were very few that I could find that didn't contain fragrance, which is why this is also a unique thickening shampoo. And to really take this product to the next level, I added a peptide complex. Now what this does is it penetrates into the hair strand itself to repair it and to thicken it. And this is why I decided to name this the thickening shampoo. So you get instant benefit, but also you see benefit over a period of time. So I say use the kit for 12 weeks for you to start getting compliments on your hair. Moving on to the conditioner. So with the conditioner, the ideal conditioner in my mind was one that had increased slip to your hair. So that means it was easy to detangle, especially if you've got curly hair like me, or my daughter whose hair gets very matted when she's doing sport and swimming. So slip was really important to prevent breakage when you are pulling the hair or trying to detangle the hair. The second thing was hydrolyzed protein. This is really essential to get into the hair strand to repair it. For me, it was also important that it was fragrance free because it was likely that it was going to touch my skin when I was using it. And I also wanted specific oils in my conditioners. So ones that weren't essential oils, i.e. there should be no smell because essential oils can sensitize the skin. But I wanted carrier oils, oils that would give my hair shine, but without irritating my skin. So the best oils would be almond oil, amla oil, and argan oil. So this conditioner didn't exist, which is why I made it for you. So this is a cuticle smoothing conditioner. It's a thick formula, which means it's more concentrated, and so you see results faster. Now, the next thing we need to think about is once you step out of the shower, there are a couple other products that you need in order to protect your hair from the elements. So from UV, from heat, from wind, from water, from heating tools, from running, traction, ripping. So many other things happen after we leave the shower. And this is the reason I made Protect and Shield conditioner. So this is a fragrance-free conditioner. You can put it on after you leave the shower. What I tend to do is I will wrap my hair in a microfiber towel after I've applied this, along with the oil that I'm going to tell you about in a second, and it turns your hair to silk. It really is a very rich formula. So a little trick is, if you can put the product into your hand and turn your hand upside down and it stays, it means that it's got high fat content. A little trick is that if you can put the leave-in conditioner on your hand and it stands up tall, it has a high fat content. If it runs, it means it has a high water content. And actually the higher fat content it is, the richer it is, the more concentrated the formula, the better it is for dry, damaged hair. Moving on to one of my favorite products, and this is the Strand Strengthening Oil. So usually with oils, I find that they can be very heavy and hard to wash out and can look quite greasy, and it's not something that you would want to apply every day onto dry hair. The other problem I've seen are essential oils. Now, essential oils are okay on the hair strand so long as they don't touch your skin, but anyone with hair really longer than their shoulders, it is going to be touching the skin, and so essential oils are fragrant, and anything that's fragrant, including fragrance, can sensitize the skin. So it's just not something that I would want on my skin every day, or that I would recommend for you either. So I actually couldn't find a lightweight hair oil that would protect me from heat. So when I'm styling with heated tongs, that was fragrance free. They didn't give me that oily look to my hair, and so that's why I created the Strand Strengthening Oil. So what you'll find with this product is that it's actually harder for you to damage your hair, which means that when it comes to your trim, you're going to be doing it a lot less often and taking off a lot less from the bottom of your hair, which is also going to help when it comes to growing the length of your hair. With the Strand Strengthening Oil, it's versatile. This means you can use it on wet hair before you style it. You can use it on dry hair to tame your flyaways. You can use it before you go swimming. So remember I say always clog your strands with fresh water and then seal it with oil before you go swimming, so less chlorine enters the strand and damages your hair. So it helps with that too. And plus, I love to run. I'm a runner, and so what I find is my hair whips side to side, and that can lead to damage of my hair ends. And so this protects me before I go to the gym as well. So there are lots of different uses for this, and I would use this every day just to tame any flyaways, especially if you live in a humid country or in the UK where your hair gets frizzy really quickly when it's raining or if it's damp. So I would say from the whole range, the Strand Strengthening Oil is one that I use the most often. Moving on to the third part, which is follicle stimulation. And this is why I created for you Anagen Boost. It's such a cute little bottle. It's 15 mils, but it is powerful. It packs a punch. So what this does is basically it keeps your hair follicle in anagen phase for longer. That's the growth phase. Now, the biggest mistake I see is products with oil-based products being put on the scalp for dry scalp. But actually you want a water-based tonic for your scalp because you don't want the yeast malassezia leading to dandruff. And when people think they've got a dry scalp because it's flaking, it's actually an oily scalp, and putting oil onto the scalp will increase the malassezia, which will increase the flakiness. So you get into this vicious cycle. It's actually better if you have dandruff to use ketoconazole cream onto the scalp for a good hour or two to allow it to work before you wash it off, but I would never put oil onto the scalp itself. Also, anything that's on the scalp should be fragrance-free and essential oil-free, and of course not have denatured alcohol in it either, because you don't want to irritate the scalp skin. We're trying to create a healthy scalp so that we produce healthy hair. So in this tonic, I've put in 4% niacinamide, which gives you a healthy skin barrier. I've put in the humectant glycerin. I've also used soybean extract and wheat germ extract, both of which encourage hair growth and prevent hair loss. I've also put in here acetyl tripeptide, which is important to strengthen the extracellular matrix proteins, which helps to anchor the hair into the shaft itself, which helps to anchor the hair into the follicle itself. These ingredients were never put together in a water-based tonic that was NAF safe before, which is the reason that I made it for you. I think you're going to love it. One thing I would say is that it's important to use the kit for the full 12 weeks to notice results, because everyone's hair grows at different rates and it may take longer to stimulate your follicles than it might be for somebody else. So give yourself that full 3 months. So who shouldn't use this kit? And it's an important question. I'd say anyone whose hair gets oily very quickly or greasy very quickly, this kit is not going to suit, because it is a rich formula. I made it actually when my hair was bleached and blonde and turned to hay about 4 years ago. That's when I started making really thick formulas, because everything else was very watery and wasn't good enough to penetrate my hair. So this has really been made for dry, damaged hair that's been bleached or is curly, rather than for very fine hair that gets oily quickly. It's just not going to be worth it for you. So I think I put that caveat in. And the other caveat I put in is it's not going to help with male pattern baldness, because what happens there is that the follicle shrinks to the point that it cannot manufacture hair anymore. And this isn't going to help with that. So that's the other thing that I want you to be aware of. I love this kit for those of you whose hair has been thinning. If it's been thinning due to stress or due to age, due to menopause, it happens, then you're gonna love this kit. I'd also highly recommend Collagen Boost if you are going through menopause or coming up to premenopausal age. You also tend to get hair loss postpartum. So all of this is due to, a large part of it is due to a lack of collagen. We lose 1% collagen every year from 21 years old onwards, but we can replace it. So what happens, you drink it, it gets broken down into peptides. This stimulates your fibroblasts to produce more collagen, and your amino acids are readily available in order to make collagen, which you need for hair, skin, nails, and joints. The only thing to be aware of with collagen is that all collagen comes from animals, whether it's bovine or from fish. So this one is marine from fish, which means it's halal. But there is no such thing as vegetarian collagen. When they say vegetarian collagen, it's not actually collagen, it's just a protein powder. And that's what it looks like. Cheers. Okay, so moving on to the clinical studies of the hair range. So this is a 5-piece kit that we did on 45 candidates from 25 years old to 55 years old. I'm literally going to read out the clinical results, but this is on the website as well, Skincare by Dr. V. So 80% said their hair felt silkier after use. So this is actually all after 4 weeks of use. 87% said the hair was much easier to detangle. 84% said their hair frizz had reduced. 82% said their hair shine had improved. 71% said that their hair felt thicker. And 64% said that their hair had grown faster. And the most important percentage for me is that we had 0% adverse reactions. As you know, for skin of color, this is the most important statistic and often gets overlooked. So this made me very happy. Next, moving on to the directions. So how do you use this? So first of all, you wet the hair, and we now do the sandwich method. So this means that you use your cuticle repair conditioner first on the hair strands, followed by your shampoo. Now, the reason we do this, or the conditioner first, is that we want to protect the hair strands while we're using the shampoo into the scalp. When you use the shampoo, make sure that you really lather it, massage the scalp, so you're getting increased blood flow to the scalp, but also you're allowing the niacinamide and salicylic acid really work on the scalp. Leave it for about a minute, then you can wash it all off together. Then you go back in with your conditioner one more time, and again from the bottoms, working all the way up to 1 to 2 inches away from the scalp. You then wash this all off and you step out of the shower and you dry your hair gently with a microfiber towel, so you can squeeze any excess water out. Then I want you to apply your leave-in conditioner to the actual hair strands itself, starting from the bottom, working your way up, and then you apply your Strand Strengthening Oil. So then you wrap your hair in your microfiber towel and you can leave it for as long as it takes for it to dry. For me, it normally takes about 30 minutes. And lastly, you go in with your Anagen Boost Hair Tonic, and you just apply it to the areas where you have thinning of hair. Your hair is now ready to style. In the summer, I tend to go for heatless hairstyles because I do really love curly hair and I do love that island look, and I tend to just put in a hair gum into my hair strands to keep the hair nice and tight. But actually when I want to blow dry my hair, then I will use the Strand Strengthening Oil after I've blow dried my hair as well, and that will just tame away any frizz and keep my hair looking shiny. The Dr. V hair range and Dr. V Collagen Boost are both available from skincarebydrv.com, and if you do want to learn more about skincare and hair care, please do get your book called Skin Revolution from Amazon. This is a book that I've written and it's been published by HarperCollins. I'm very proud of it and I think a lot of you will love it too. I am in the comment section for 1 hour at the launch of every single video, so make sure you subscribe but hit that notification bell so you know when I'm here to ask me questions. Please do write down below all your hair care questions, because if you've got a question, I promise you 1,000 other people have the same question. So that would be really helpful for all of us. Please do follow me on Instagram. I've got 2 accounts, Skincare by Dr. V and Dr. Vanita Rattan. And I'm also on TikTok, Dr. Vanita Rattan. And we have a private Facebook group, which is an intimate space for you to talk about your own skincare issues and hair care issues. And that's called Dr. V Sock Family. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Take care. Bye.